Hi, it's Charles Dabelgott with the Dabelgott Insurance Agency. I'm often asked how umbrella insurance works and whether or not I need it. So that is why I prepared this brief video, to illustrate the benefits of the umbrella policies and to show how your current coverage levels may not give you enough protection without it. Let's face it, we live in California, where lawsuits are common today. If you accidentally injure someone or damage their property, you could be sued, and more juries are awarding very large verdicts. So while your homeowner's property and the auto policies may provide substantial liability limits, juries can award sums that exceed those limits. That's where umbrella insurance comes in. So let me give you just one of the many examples where having even high limits of liability coverage might not be enough. Imagine you're involved in a 4-car accident, which is considered to be your fault. You're fine, but all 3 of the other cars are considered total losses, and each car has one person that sustained injuries. Now let's take a look at how your coverage would apply today. Let's say your current auto insurance provides bodily injury coverage of $250,000 per person, $500,000 per accident, and the property damage limits are $100,000 per accident. Well, on the surface, that sounds like it should be good enough, and it may be, but until you look at the details of coverage and the potential cost of damages associated in an accident like this, you can't be so sure. So for discussion purposes, let's assume Car 1 requires $200,000 for bodily injury and $40,000 for property damage to replace the total car. Car 2 requires $200,000 for bodily injury and another $40,000 for replacing the vehicle. And the third car requires $300,000 for bodily injury and $50,000 to replace the luxury vehicle. Add it all up and you're looking at a total settlement of $700,000 for the bodily injury and $130,000 for the damage to the cars involved. Now, in reviewing your current liability limits in your policy, you'll see that Farmers is going to fulfill their obligation and pay up to $500,000 towards the bodily injury claim, as well as the $100,000 toward the property damage claim. You, on the other hand, will be responsible for the additional $200,000 for bodily injury, as well as the $30,000 for property damage, which means your assets and even your future earnings could be in jeopardy, as you may be forced to make up the difference of the $230,000. And this is exactly why I strongly recommend considering an umbrella policy. Now let's consider the same situation, but now you have a $1 million umbrella limit policy in place. For example, you'll recall the total settlement cost were $700,000 for bodily injury and $130,000 for property damage, and that Farmers paid the $500,000 toward bodily injury and $100,000 toward the property damage. The remaining $230,000 that would have been your responsibility is now covered by your $1 million umbrella policy. And the good news is, you assume no liability. So this is exactly what an umbrella policy does. It helps to protect your income and assets against lawsuits by providing liability coverage in excess of your existing policies. And the beauty of the umbrella policy is that it provides coverage on top of your existing policies. For example, if someone slipped and fell in your driveway and wanted to sue you, this same umbrella policy would kick in on top of your homeowner's policy. The same applies for any policies you have in place, such as a watercraft, an RV, or the auto policy we have already covered. And one of the most attractive features of the umbrella insurance is that it can be very inexpensive. To give you an idea, a $1 million umbrella policy will cost you less than $20 a month. And for about $70 a month, you could get a $5 million umbrella policy. For these reasons, personal umbrella liability insurance is widely considered one of the best values for the money when you compare the cost to the protection it provides. So I hope this video has helped clear up any misconceptions you may have had regarding umbrella insurance and helped you to understand the value that it provides. This has been Charles Dabelgott, your Farmers Insurance Agent.